Okay, so let me introduce. Anju, you should also maybe introduce yourself so then everyone else is, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll paste in my LinkedIn too.
So if you're just joining us, just introduce, if you'd like, introduce yourself in the chat box, what you do, where you're calling in from, and if you want a link to your LinkedIn profile. Okay, so maybe we'll wait a few minutes more. I see people trickling in, and I know, for me too, whenever I have an event to attend, it takes me a while to, find the email and then get into Zoom. So it's nice that we can give people a few minutes to come in. But again, I'd love to know where everyone is from. So even if just let me know, are you in the San Francisco Bay Area? Are you in other parts of the US? So, okay, here's Anju. Anju is the director of the Women Who Code Silicon Valley. And Anju, you're based in the Bay Area, right?
Yes, that is correct. Yeah, I'm in San Jose.
Yeah. Hi, Karen. So again, if you're just joining us, introduce yourself in the chat box, what you do, where you're based, a link to your LinkedIn profile. Don't be shy. I want to make this event more interactive, so you're not just listening to me. So here's Carol. Thank you for introducing yourself. Carol's a full stack front-end learning web application developer, and she's in Los Angeles. Thank you for introducing yourself. And we'll just wait a few minutes more. I see people coming in slowly, so I don't want anyone to miss anything. So maybe Anju, a couple minutes more.
Yeah, we can wait a couple of minutes.
Yeah,
we can start like 6:05.
Yeah. But if people, so here's Linda. Linda is she's a product manager at PG&E in the Bay Area, also on a walk to the farmers market. I love it, Linda. So she's trying to get her steps in. If I wasn't teaching this workshop, Linda, I'd be walking as well. I take most of my phone calls on my walks. I'm trying to walk about 5 to 6 miles. Actually, I'm trying to do 7 miles now that it's summer. So I totally get you. And I'm so thank you for still, being able to type in the chat box and introducing yourself. Okay, so maybe I'll start. Actually, before I start my slide, I'd love to take a photograph of those of you who are comfortable sharing, turning on your cameras. So if anyone, let's go ahead and turn on our cameras while people are introducing themselves. So here's Nara. Nara is in Cupertino. This is a LinkedIn profile. She's happy to connect. Karen is a language engineering manager at AWS, and she's located in Santa Clara. That's awesome. A lot of people in the Bay Area calling in. I think everyone so far who's introduced themselves is in the Bay Area. And I'm also, so again, I'll share my LinkedIn profile if you missed my introduction earlier, so you can connect with me. So I'd love to take a photograph if people are comfortable and want to turn their camera on. And if not, we could try it at the end when people are warmed up a bit. So calling once, calling twice, people want to be in this group photograph, turn on your cameras. Oh, cool. Hi, Jan. Okay, here are the brave ones. Jen Blank and Janet Riley, thank you. Remember, if you want, if you're going to be on LinkedIn, and don't worry about your hair, ladies, LinkedIn's all about I had to dress up a little bit because I'm the speaker and have makeup. I work from home. I'm wearing PJs below. So, but being, if you're going to be on LinkedIn, you have to, be comfortable seeing yourself online, sharing content. And if you've noticed the photographs nowadays on LinkedIn, they're very, they're not the polished photo headshots, not the profile photo, but photos people are posting. They're more authentic. They're people going for a walk or in front of their desk. So I love that LinkedIn's changing from this stuffy business clad platform to a more authentic, more easygoing professional networking platform. All right, so let's, so I don't see anyone else turning on. So let's take a photo of the four of us. This is a before, and maybe after the workshop, we'll have more people turn on their cameras and we can have an after shot. Okay, all right. So let me take a photo of the four of us, unless someone's brave enough. Okay, I'll just take one more and then I'll start my presentation. And Janet Riley said she's a principal software engineer at Tripit in SF, but I'm remote from Boston. Very cool. I love that, Janet. All right, so let's start the presentation. And I want this to be interactive. So, just I'll be asking questions. If you have questions in between, feel free to ask me those questions as well. So and Jen, that's a beautiful background. I really like it. Okay, so let me share my screen. So my presentation today is the 4 pillars to level up your LinkedIn profile and presence. I want to keep the chat box open too. So if people have questions, they can. Okay, so sorry, it's moving faster. Okay, so my name is Nyna Kaputi. I'm a LinkedIn coach, consultant, and trainer. So I work one-on-one with mainly women professionals who want to build their profile and presence and get either they're entrepreneurs or they work for companies and they just want to get more visibility, be seen as a thought leader, an expert, and reach a larger target audience and create impact and influence. I also host a lot of events. I'm a speaker. I'm speaking today. I'm a community builder. I run a membership called Her Success Society, where I help women build their visibility, their personal brand, and their thought leadership, and get the opportunities that they want and they deserve. And I'm also the founder of the Expat Woman, which is a platform for immigrant professional women. So if you haven't connected with me as yet, you can follow or connect with me. This is my LinkedIn profile. I'll share it again in the chat box. I don't have the time because I'm presenting to connect with each of you. A lot of you have shared your profiles, but I would love to connect with you after the event. So go ahead, and if you want, take a photograph of this. I also have my QR code, and I'm going to show you how to get the QR code for your LinkedIn profile if you haven't. So you just hold your camera in front of the QR code and it'll pull up, like you're taking a photograph, and it'll pull up my LinkedIn profile. Okay, so I'm sure many of you know this already. LinkedIn is no longer an online resume. It's really your digital reputation on the web. And there are many people who don't have a website, like entrepreneurs, or even, now I see a lot of people who work at companies who also create a website to showcase their expertise. But very often you don't need that. You can share all your expertise on your LinkedIn profile. And the thing is, there's still a gender gap on LinkedIn. There are way more men than women that are really leveraging LinkedIn, that are sharing their expertise, that are building their thought leadership. Women are still not as active, and I am on a mission to change that. I want to see more women on LinkedIn, more women sharing their voices, sharing their stories, building their brand. So hopefully today, if you're not that active on LinkedIn, I hope today can inspire you to do that. And when other women see you being active on LinkedIn, they'll be inspired to do the same. Okay. So we've already done this. Introduce yourself with a link to your LinkedIn profile in the comments. If you haven't done that, go ahead and do it. And at the end, I'll give you a few minutes to scroll up and down and connect with people. So let's, even if you're not very active on LinkedIn, or you're active, let me know what you currently use LinkedIn for. And for many, even though I got on LinkedIn in 2007, I didn't use it as much as I'm using it today. So it's fine if you're not as active as you would like to be. So go ahead and let me know in the comments, what are you using LinkedIn for? So Jen Black says, I have an outdated LinkedIn profile, pre-pandemic hair. All right, that's fine. And I had one like that for a long time. Linda Van is using it to find opportunities. So yeah, so and then Janet says, I'm using it for job browsing and for the older experience that I can't fit on a 2-page resume. Yeah, and that's why LinkedIn is great, because it's so dynamic and it has so many different features that you can fit in a lot, and and that recruiters can find and reach out to you. And then Cass Spicer says, I use LinkedIn for sharing my thought leadership and things I'm learning, also networking and job searching. Fantastic. That LinkedIn is such a great platform to share your expertise and your thought leadership and even things you're learning. So even if you're not an expert, you can start sharing things that you're learning while you're going through a program. So I love that. And you guys are coming fast and furious. I love it. So Catherine says, job browsing, connecting, learning, fantastic. Carol said, connect with co-workers, former colleagues. That's a great way to use LinkedIn to find people that you haven't been in touch with for a while or you've never been in touch with. And then Madhumati said, I've not updated my profile and would like to know the do's and don'ts. Thank you, Madhumati. I'll definitely cover some of that today. And Karen says, I only update it when I'm job hunting, but want to know how to use it for more general networking, especially advertising my job openings. Yes. Yeah, that's what a lot of us, use LinkedIn when we have like something we want to promote, or we're looking for a new job, or we're looking to hire. And my goal today, and with people I work with on helping them to use LinkedIn, is to help you, continue to showcase your expertise, nurture the relationships, and not just wait for, the time when you need something. So that's a great point, Karen. And then let me look it up a little more. I'm with you, need to. Okay, so Jen says, I love that all of you are sharing this, and I want to read it because it'll help me decide what to cover. Isha says, I've optimized my profile and attract job opportunities, but looking to build a stronger presence in the developer community. That's fantastic, Isha, and you are on the right path. Jen says, I'm with you, Madhumati, need to update my profile, not just my photo. I use it now to keep track of people I met. Yeah, Jen, it's so fantastic. What I like about LinkedIn is you connect with someone and they might change companies, right? And you can still stay connected with them. Whereas if you have their email address, it might belong to one company. And when they move, you've lost all contact with them. So most people keep their LinkedIn profiles fairly fresh. So you are still able to keep in touch with them and keep track of them and see what they're doing next. And then Janet says, I research companies that look interesting. Great way to find out about their tech stack. I look at the current employee profile. Yeah, it's such a great way to research companies. Linda says, would love to understand what you and others mean by thought leadership. I will cover that as well, Linda. Great question. And Isha says, I optimize my profile and attract job opportunities for looking to build a stronger presence. Cass says, I feel that thought leadership is often misunderstood. Or can easily turn into drama. I'd love to hear about the emotional and intelligence aspects of thought leadership. Actually, I have a whole different workshop on thought leadership, which is around an hour. So maybe I have to at some point have one of those. I've heard many examples from men's or friends and colleagues being recruited via LinkedIn. Yes, you can. If you have an optimized profile, you can definitely do that. So a lot of people are using it for job searching, sharing their expertise. So that, thank you so much to everyone who shared. And maybe at the end, if I have a little time, I'll talk about thought leadership. So this is the results of a poll I did on LinkedIn. I asked people what they were using LinkedIn for, and then you can see, again, this is not a comprehensive poll. This was a poll to some people in my network, but you can see people are using it for different things. I was surprised to see that 49% of the people were using it to connect, build relationships, which is powerful because LinkedIn is a networking platform. It's your 24/7, 365 days a year networking platform. You can go onto LinkedIn at any time, and there, you can send people messages, you can comment on posts. There's LinkedIn live videos, there's LinkedIn audio rooms, which are like I forgot what was a Clubhouse. So there's so many ways you can connect with people on LinkedIn. Okay, what is that? Jen, yes, I don't have them off the top of my head. It's not huge, but I do, if you send me a message later, Jen, I can tell you what the statistics are. There is a gender gap on LinkedIn as to how many men are using it and how many women. It's not huge, but it's still there. It still exists. Okay, so why you should use LinkedIn? LinkedIn's the world's largest social network for professionals with 800 plus million members. Now, this doesn't seem as huge as Facebook, but it's still pretty big because it's a network, it's a platform for professionals. I used to be on Instagram, but I found Instagram was like, there's a lot of noise. I was always getting distracted by people's pets and babies and vacations. And it was just, and I have only so much time in a day. And as a professional, as an entrepreneur, as a LinkedIn, I got into LinkedIn and became a LinkedIn coach and trainer because I've been leveraging the platform. I decided to use LinkedIn as my platform, and it's amazing. I've made so many fabulous connections and got a lot of opportunities. The platform is home to over 57 million companies. So for those of you who said they're looking for jobs or researching companies, just look at that. There are 57 million companies who are on LinkedIn, and every second 2 new people join LinkedIn. So this in itself is enough to want you to join this platform. And right now, only 1 to 3% of people are actively using LinkedIn and sharing content. So think of that. If you start using LinkedIn and leveraging it, you're going to stand out from the crowd because most people are using LinkedIn just to share their resumes and not really active. So if you're looking for a new job, you're looking for promotion at your company, speaking opportunities, and building your expertise. And that's what thought leadership is. I very quickly share. A thought leader is someone who's an expert in a field and they don't know all the answers. Like I consider myself a thought leader with respect to LinkedIn because I have a lot of knowledge and expertise in LinkedIn, but I don't know all the answers. You might ask me a question today and I may not know. And I share my expertise and I add value and I create impact and influence. So an expert is, they're very knowledgeable about a subject and they might not have a big following. They may not use platforms like I do, like I share content, I host workshops. So I'm finding avenues and platforms to reach people so I can inspire them and empower them and, create that authority and influence. So that's what the thought leader is. So because I know I keep referring to it and I know it's a buzzword, but again, there's a gender gap with how many people call themselves thought leaders on LinkedIn. There's again, way more men than women that call themselves thought leaders on LinkedIn because women, we always feel we have to be experts in a field before we either apply for a job, showcase our skills online, talk about ourselves as being an expert. Whereas men, even if they know just a small portion of whatever they're calling themselves an expert, they'll still go out there and apply for the jobs, speak at conferences, showcase themselves as an expert in that field on LinkedIn. So this is what, a lot of people have noticed about, the difference between men and women calling themselves thought leaders. So this is an interesting thing. How many of you know, let me know in the chat box, that your LinkedIn profile is indexed? That when you do a search on Google, if your LinkedIn profile settings are set to visible, it will show up as one of the first results in the search. So let me know in the comments. Did you know that your LinkedIn profile is indexed, that if you do a Google search, your LinkedIn profile will show up? And it's fine. I didn't know that for a while. So, so Cass says yes. Okay. Karen. Okay, cool. So a lot of you know that it's indexed and that if you search for your name. So how about some of you might have done this before, but if you haven't, why don't you Google your name and let us know in the comments, does your LinkedIn profile show up? And if it does, is it on the first page? Is it the first profile that shows up? So let me know in the comments. And then if people have questions on if their LinkedIn profile is not showing up, I can walk you through that. So Jen says hers shows up as the first result. Yeah, so then Larry says it doesn't, but I set it to be first degree visible. Madhumati says it doesn't show up. Then Cass says if I type it, it's the first result. Anju says the first result. Jessica, she says I see mine. So you can see. So tomorrow someone's looking for you, right? Maybe it's a recruiter, maybe it's someone, whatever it is. Linda says second result. That is strange, Linda. Yeah, for me too, it's the first one. And then Janice said the first one, but LinkedIn is further down. Yeah, I don't know why sometimes it shows further down. Maybe someone else has a similar name. For me, I made a documentary film, so I was interviewed, and featured in a lot of newsletters, and then I ran the Expat Woman. So there's a lot of media that covers me. So, if you search for Nyna Kaputi, there's a lot of results, but my LinkedIn profile shows up right at the top. So I don't know what it is, but what if your name is very common? Yeah, then you might have more than one person showing up, and you'll have to look, and if that is the case with you, Michelle, let me know. First, if I include my title, first result, otherwise someone else proceeds. Yeah, if there are people with similar names, it depends on, I guess, how active they are, how many keywords they have. So there's a lot of different things. But the thing is, if you have your settings set to visible, your LinkedIn profile is going to show up. And why am I bringing this up? Because if people are looking for you, and then your LinkedIn profile shows up as one of the shows up on the Google page, and maybe that's the only thing that showcases you. Like some of us may have been featured in the media, or we have websites, but if that is your only public facing platform, then you want your LinkedIn profile to look really good, right? Because people are going to read it, and you might have all this amazing experience and expertise and accomplishments, but if nothing is featured on your LinkedIn profile, if it's very basic, it's not going to really wow people, right? Because first impressions count. So that's why it's important for you to, constantly level up your profile, update it, clean it up, yeah, because that's how people find you. Okay, sorry, it's going back the wrong way. Okay, so if your profile doesn't show up in the search, it's likely that its visibility is not set to public. Making your profile public will allow you to appear on search results and improve your chance of being found by recruiters, job seekers, or potential clients. Okay, so I want to know, looks like some of you have changed your visibility settings of your LinkedIn profile. Is there anyone here who doesn't have their settings, or they don't know how to change the settings of their LinkedIn profile? Because if most of you know how to do it, already have it set to visible, then I will not go into this, and I'll move forward. So if you want to see, and again, if it's just one or two people, I'd be happy to do a quick one-on-one with you later, and help you change your visibility settings. But if most people have their visibility settings to public, I'm going to move on with my presentation. Okay, so these are the 4 pillars of LinkedIn, of building a powerful LinkedIn profile and presence. So the first is your profile. So most people think, oh, if I just have a LinkedIn profile, that's it, I'm done. But there's other areas as well to make your presence on LinkedIn really stand out. So your content, your connections, and your conversations. Okay, so let's start with the profile. So which is the pillar 1. So optimize your LinkedIn profile. So I'm going to stop my share. Now the LinkedIn profile has many different sections, but these are the first few sections on your profile that people see, right? So this is the most important part of your profile. Everything's important, but these are the ones that people see, because people just spend a couple of seconds maybe on your profile, and you want that profile to really stand out, to make them want to learn more about you or reach out to you. So I'm going to stop the share here, and we can look at my profile just so that I can go through some of the things with you that I just mentioned. Sorry. Okay, so let's, oh, someone did not receive a, Anju, someone just sent a message saying they registered for tonight's webinar, but they did not receive a Zoom meeting ID. So I'm wondering.
It was actually part of the meetup itself.
Should I just tell her since she's here that
yeah,
it's on the meetup?
Yeah, it is on the meetup.
Okay.
I can share the.
Yeah. Sorry, but you can see this woman sent, which is smart. She used LinkedIn messaging to write to me that she couldn't find it. So yeah, that's how you can use your DM. So okay, so this is my LinkedIn profile. So this at the top is my LinkedIn banner, right? So your LinkedIn banner. Now, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a LinkedIn coach. I'm a women empowerment coach. So my profile, I want to showcase. It's your banner is really your digital. The digital billboard, right? It's dynamic. I can keep changing it, but this is what you want people to see. So if you have just a gray box here, I would encourage you to change it. I would encourage you to not use the generic images like the Golden Gate Bridge or the, an ocean, unless, you're an oceanographer or you built some bridge or you're an architect. You could use images, but then try and make them relevant to what you're doing. But if you want to do something more strategic, if you are a full stack engineer, maybe you could do something creative around that. You could have an image of you working on a laptop.
Hey, Nina, I think we can't see your screen.
Oh, really? Oh my goodness. I thought, thank you for telling me.
I can't.
I'm so sorry.
It's all right.
Okay, let me know if you can see. Oh, look at my messy screen. Okay, can you guys see it now?
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that. So yeah, so I was talking about the banner, right? So this is my LinkedIn banner. This is my digital billboard, and this is where you can be creative and use, like an image or use content that will make you stand out. And you can use a call to action as well. So like, I'm here, DM me to discuss how I can support you. So that's my banner. This is my profile photograph. Now the profile photograph, they say try and use 60% of the profile, of your profile image. So, and try not to have anything in the background that's distracting. Now my brand, I'm also, into branding. So my colors are red, black, gold, and white. So if you see I'm wearing, I always wear red mostly for my events and workshop, but have a neutral background or a color that you want to use, and then try and have, just your shoulders and head in the profile photograph. So again, if it's up to you, but try and look at the camera. It doesn't have to be ultra professional. This photograph was taken with my smartphone. I think my husband took it. So I didn't go to a studio or anything, but that's me. Then you have what's called the headline. You have 220 characters. Now you could put software engineer or, full stack engineer, or, your title or software engineer at Microsoft. But again, you want to showcase your expertise and your skills. So I could have put LinkedIn coach right off the bat, but I really, as I said, I work with women. Oh, anyway, this woman, sorry, this woman has been texting me about today's meetings. I think she'll join us now. Let me get out of this. So empowering women professionals to get the clarity and confidence to showcase their expertise and get the opportunities they want. So I say that first. So right off the bat, women professionals who are trying to, get more clear on what they want to do, or want to get more confidence putting themselves out there, will say, oh, I want to learn more about Nyna. So again, you have to think about what it is that will attract your target audience. If you're looking for a job, you have to think of what it is that will attract your recruiter. If you just put software engineer, there are hundreds of other people also putting in software engineers. So how can you differentiate yourself? So that's your banner, your title. There's a lot of other stuff. There's creator mode, but I don't want to go into that. There's a featured section. Everyone has access to a featured section on LinkedIn. So you can add your featured section. And then if you, for instance, if you have a GitHub link, or you write content and you post it, you can feature those in the featured section. So people look at that. You can see I do a LinkedIn newsletter. So I feature my most recent newsletter. I spoke in this image. In this post, I spoke about how I discovered my superpower during the pandemic. Then people can book a 20-minute complimentary call with me to learn, if they want to talk more about LinkedIn or how to build their confidence and stand out from the crowd. So you can see, you can do up to 50 featured sections. Then you have the activity, and then you have the about section. Again, my whole goal is to empower women to stand out and showcase their expertise and get the opportunities they want. So, my hook, so people will want to read more, is don't be your best kept secret. Then I say what I do. Okay, so one thing to keep in mind when you do your about section is don't write it in the third person, write it in the first person, okay? And don't just put your skills, full stack engineer, whatever, HTML, CSS. Again, I'm just assuming a lot of you are women who code. So but try and tell a story, try and tell people like, I am a software engineer that can help you do blah, blah, blah. So try and make it more like, you're talking to a recruiter, or you're talking to an employer, or if you have your own business, you're talking to potential clients, or if there are other opportunities, you want to be a speaker or host workshops. So I know Anju, she is, building out her expertise as a blogger, writing on machine learning. So she can put that in her about section. So again, you have to be very creative with what you put in your profile. And then finally, I'm not sure what what your LinkedIn URLs look like, but you want to make sure your LinkedIn URL is very clean. You can see mine is Nyna Kaputi. Again, my name is very unusual, so I was able to change my LinkedIn URL to Nyna Kaputi. But if you have other people who have a similar name, you can maybe add a middle name. You could add, Nyna Kaputi engineer. You can make it more creative. So let me stop the share and go back to my slides. Do you have any questions? Does anyone have any questions before I move into the next thing? I know there's a lot of content, but I don't want to be talking to you, I want to be, making it more interactive. So anyone have any questions so far? How can you change the LinkedIn URL? Okay, thanks for asking that, Michelle. I'm actually going to show you that. Okay, so let me share my screen because I have to go back to my slides so I can walk you through my slides. Present. Sorry, my computer is so slow because I think my kids are home. Yeah. Okay, so why you should customize it? Makes you look professional. It helps build your personal brand. And whether you work in the corporate world, you're looking for a job, you're an entrepreneur, you're in between job, you want to build your personal brand. Personal brand is not just for entrepreneurs, it's for anyone. The personal brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. So if you want to build your expertise or get known for like I want people to think of me as women empowerment coach and LinkedIn coach, helping women achieve success by helping them build their brand and spotlight their expertise. So if that's what you want to do, your LinkedIn, you start with your LinkedIn URL because you want people to say, oh, Nyna Kaputi, I know I can look her up on LinkedIn, and that's her URL. It increases your visibility, makes you stand out. It's easy to share in your signature on a presentation. It makes it easier for others to remember you and find you on LinkedIn. It sends a message that you know how to use LinkedIn and are tech savvy. And especially if you're a woman in tech, in this Women Who Code group, you want to appear tech savvy. So this was what my profile looked like. So when you join LinkedIn, LinkedIn creates a URL for you. So it usually has your name and then it has numbers and characters. But then after I customized it, I was able to get rid of the numbers, and because you wouldn't remember this URL, and it looks so ugly if I had it in my signature. And then I cleaned it up and I just had my first and last name. So how can you do that? So you go to the me on your LinkedIn, on your home page. So you see I'm on the home page, I go to me, then I go down to view profile, and then you can see that's my URL, but of course mine was fixed. And then you go to edit public profile and URL. So when you get onto your profile page, you go to, on the right hand side, you click edit public profile and URL. And then you do it'll show, this will pop up, and then you do edit your custom URL. So then you can personalize the URL for your profile, and they say your URL must contain 3 to 100 letters or numbers. Please do not use spaces, symbols, or special characters. Now you don't want to put in a huge long URL name. If you can do your first and last name, that's fine. If your name is taken, then put in a middle initial or something to distinguish you from everyone else. So that's it again. And okay, so that. Oh, I'm so sorry. My phone is. Okay.
I think there's a question from Carol.
Okay, let me read the chat and see what the questions are. Okay, so okay, so Jen says, I see how to follow you, but did not know how to connect with you via LinkedIn. Okay, let me show you that. And then let me see, do you think you should not check classes in our public, is it too much information? At the beginning, I felt like I needed because I did not have many years of work experience. So I think, and when you mean classes, what do you mean? Like the classes you took? So can you share a little more information about that, Carol, like classes? And while you're doing that, Jen, I will show you, I'll go back to my profile. So I can just show you how to, yeah. Let me see if I can get out of the slides. Okay, so let me go back to my profile, and if you go up, so a lot of people, so I have something called creator mode turned on. I don't want to go into that today. I just don't, it's too much information and I don't want to overwhelm you, but I turn creator mode on. So when I turn creator mode on, it makes people can't follow me. People can't connect with me. They have to follow me, but you can't see it on my profile. So let me find somebody else who I'm not connected to. I have to find someone I'm not connected to. So let me find someone who I'm not connected. I'm connected with her. I just have to, give me a second. I need to find someone I'm not connected with, and then I can show you maybe one of these people, right? Oh my gosh, I'm connected to all these people. Okay, let's look at Rishni. Let's see if she has her creator mode turned on. It has to be some, let's see. I don't think she has creator mode turned on. Yeah, no, she has a connect. She has a connecting. But now if she had creator mode turned on, she would have follow here, and the connect would be in the more button. So you would click more, and then it would be, in this case, her follow is in the more. So the difference between follow and connect is when you connect with someone, then like if I think it was Jen, right? If you connect with me, Jen, we are both connected. I'm connected to you, and we become first connections. If I was to connect with Rishni, I would click the connect button. But if she was in creator mode, this would be follow, and the connect button would be in the more. So that's what you need to do with me. You go to more, and you look down there, and then you click connect. And so that's how you can find it. Hopefully I answered that question. So let me look at the chat. Does one need pro LinkedIn to connect? No, not pro. And it's called premium. It's called premium, premium, not pro. And you can connect with anyone. Then Valeria says, in what part of my LinkedIn should I place my personal website? So LinkedIn actually has so there's various places you can put your website. And then Carol, I'll come back to you after that. Okay, so let me show you my profile. Okay. And so LinkedIn recently added this feature where you can add your website to, sorry, my computer. So you can add your website to your profile, which is called the introductory card. So if you click here on the pen, I don't know if I can see it on, I don't know if it'll show me on, yeah. So you can see, so I can add my website that will appear at the top of the profile. Now they're rolling out this feature. You guys can check if you want and let me know if you have that feature or not. So basically below the contact information, you'll have this, you should have, if you've got the feature, it'll say website, and you can add your website to it. If you don't have that feature, then you can add your website to your contact information, which I do have, okay? But the only thing is that this this will not, people will have to click the contact information on your page to see it, okay? So let me get out of this. So people would have to see the contact info to see the website. So check and see if you have it or not. Let me know if anyone has got that feature where you can add the website on your profile. And then you can also add it in the about section as well. Okay, so let me go back to my slides. So we did the LinkedIn URL. Okay, so the second pillar is have a content strategy. So once you've created the profile, you want to start sharing content on LinkedIn. And initially, I know it's hard. Like when I started off creating content, like I've been on LinkedIn since 2007. I think LinkedIn, went opened up to the public in 2002 or 2003. I joined in 2007 because I was looking for a job, and a lot of people professionals I met were on LinkedIn. But once I started my own business, I was really using LinkedIn just to promote my events. I was doing a lot of in-person events. So I would use it to promote my events, and that was it. And, tag the speakers and maybe post a few photographs. I didn't have a content strategy, and I didn't post 2 to 5 times. But as you get more comfortable with LinkedIn, you want to, start posting maybe 2 to 5 times a week. If you're just starting off, even if you do once a week is fine. And then one of the strategies, and there are a lot of strategies, but I just wanted to give you a few strategies, is end your post with a question. So say you do a post on, like for instance, for me, today I did a post on using branded hashtags, okay? So at the beginning and at the end, I ask people, do you have a branded hashtag? Because if you want people to interact with you, you don't want to just put a post up there and then you're just talking to people. Again, just like I said with the presentation, you want interaction, you want engagement, right? And so you want people to get involved in your post. So you ask a question in that post, and then people will respond. Also, the more people that comment and engage on your post, LinkedIn has an algorithm, right? So then when people are engaging on your post, not just reacting, but commenting, answering your question, the algorithm then thinks like, oh, this post is popular, so I'm going to show this post to more people. If your post doesn't get a lot of engagement, fewer people who you're connected with will see it. So that's another strategy. And then you want to use hashtags. Like on Instagram, you can use up to 30 hashtags. On LinkedIn, you can use the ideal numbers 3 to 5 for the algorithm to work, and you want to do them one below the other, and you can include a branded hashtag. So just wanted to know from the attendees, are you currently posting content on LinkedIn? And if you're not, that's fine. But I just want to know if anyone is posting content right now on LinkedIn. No one's posting content on LinkedIn? You can say no in the chat if you're not. That's fine. Okay. Anyway, so maybe you're not. So if you're not posting content on LinkedIn, what's stopping you from posting content? Anyone want to share in the chat what's stopping you from posting content on LinkedIn? Let me look at the chat. Maybe I'm missing. Okay, so, okay, I see people for some reason. So a lot of people are saying no, seems like a lot of work, says Karen. Linda said, I did when I was volunteering for Tech Women. Jen says, really? Madhumati says, can you please specify what are hashtags? I will now. I'm going to take the questions at the end so that I can continue with the presentation. Yes, it seemed like a lot of work, but again, remember, not thinking anyone will read it and lack of time. So, you could just, maybe one of the strategies that I would suggest, suggest you do is maybe just commenting on a few people's posts to start off with, because, get into the habit. So don't just write great posts. Maybe say every day I'll spend, or maybe if you don't have the time every day, maybe every other day I'll spend about 15 minutes, going through my news feed, and then I'll comment on a few people's posts that are relevant to me. You can even do a search on LinkedIn with a hashtag for a particular post, and then you can comment on those posts. So yes, Carol said, I feel overwhelmed by so much information on social media. Yes, but if you're going to be using LinkedIn as your I only use LinkedIn. I use Facebook groups. I have a LinkedIn Facebook group, but LinkedIn is my go-to platform. And you have to manage your time. So if if you're just you're just creating a profile and not doing anything else with LinkedIn, and you're looking for a new job, you're looking to build your expertise, or you're looking for new opportunities, you have to be a little bit more active on LinkedIn. And that comes with time. So as I said, you can start by just commenting on most people's posts. So Valeria said, I posted today a reflection. Anna says, I'm not really a sociable person. Janet said, lots of noise and link sharing, not a lot. Yeah, so Janet, then you have to clean up your newsfeed. You have to figure out what is it that's relevant to me? What are some topics I want to learn more about? What are topics of interest to me? And then you can look for, do a search, LinkedIn search with the hashtag for those topics. And then you can start following those people and their content will show up in your newsfeed. Madhumati says, don't know what to post. So again, you have to figure out, what am I excited about? We all have expertise. We all have experiences. We all have something we can share with the world and add value. Even if one person reads it and you can make a difference, because by you not sharing your expertise, you're doing people who could benefit from it a disservice. Keep that in mind. So how to make sure better, should I link to my website? So let's keep the questions for the end and then I'll address them, just because I want to continue. Sorry, but these are great questions. These are really good questions. Okay, so I just wanted to show you a post that I did, because I host a lot of events and I create an event page on LinkedIn. I was telling people how to do, the lessons learned from creating an event post. And then at the end, I'd say, what additional features could they include in LinkedIn event pages? So I'm asking people for suggestions. And you can see I've used some hashtags, virtual events, LinkedIn events, and that's my personal hashtag or my unique or branded hashtag Nyna on LinkedIn, because I'm on LinkedIn and I post a lot of content related to LinkedIn. So hope someone was asking about hashtags. So you use hashtags relevant to your topic, right? And then you can include a unique hashtag. So the third pillar is make relevant connections. So LinkedIn allows you to send 100 invites per week. Now you don't want to do that. You want to, that first of all, most of you won't have the time. And secondly, you don't want to be just sending invitations to everyone. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you get invitation requests, right? So again, you want to be strategic about whom you invite. It's quality over quantity. It's not about how many people do I have in my network. It's how many people who are relevant to what I do, who, whose content I enjoy reading, who maybe there are people who you could work with some point down the line. Maybe they're recruiters that, you don't want to just invite a recruiter and then send them a message and immediately saying, I want a job. You have to be very strategic. And that's where commenting on posts comes into play. Maybe there's some recruiters who are posting content regularly on LinkedIn. So if you start commenting on their posts with relevant, content, now maybe you don't know what to say. Maybe you could ask them a question, or maybe you could take something from their post and just say, I so agree with this, or this was, but don't just say great post. But then you get on their radar, right? They start paying attention to you. Like, wow, this girl, like supposing I was looking for a job, I'll say at Adobe, and this recruiter from Adobe keeps posting stuff, and she's maybe I want to work in product management, and she hires for product managers, right? So then I keep commenting on her post, and then after a while I might send her a connection request and say, I've really enjoyed all the content you've shared, and I would love to connect with you on LinkedIn. So it's being strategic. So that's why we include a personalized note. When you connect someone, send them a note. If you've attended today's workshop, send me, and you want to connect with me, send me a message as well saying, I attended your workshop. If you enjoyed it, tell me what you enjoyed about it, any takeaways. Again, I don't want to make you feel overwhelmed and then you won't connect with me. If you just like to say, I really found your workshop useful and I'd love to connect with you on LinkedIn. But sending a note, it's just LinkedIn etiquette, because very often, I'm sure you've experienced this, where people send you a connection request and then no note, and the minute you accept it, they start trying to sell you stuff right off the bat, and sometimes not even stuff that's related to you. And there's a lot of bots as well on LinkedIn now that are sending automated messages. There are a lot of fake profiles on LinkedIn because of AI. So keep all that in mind, because sometimes people will not accept connection requests if they don't include a personalized note, because they're afraid it might be a fake profile or an AI, a bot, an automation. So Jen says, so you don't, so Jen, again, maybe I'll answer this question because it's relevant to this. So you don't recommend connecting with everyone. You can unconnect with people. Yes, you can unconnect with people. You just go to You go to connections on your LinkedIn profile, and then you can click on the name and it lets you unconnect from that person. So you can definitely do that. I'd say really it's up to you. If you work with students and they're asking you to connect and you think it's really what your strategy is. All I'm saying is just, like there's some people who just want to get to, link. So the LinkedIn, the 30,000 is a number of connections you can have on LinkedIn. You can have many more followers, but you can only have 30,000 connections. There are some people who just want to get to the 30,000 every week. That's why LinkedIn actually limited it to 100 invites per week. It was way more before. I don't know what the limit was, but then they found that people are just spamming everyone, trying to connect, trying to get to this vanity number of 30,000, and so they've reduced it. So again, it's really up to you who you want to connect with, who you want to accept as connection requests. Each one has a different strategy. Again, 2,000 is still pretty good. Yeah, but there are people who have like in the hundreds. They have like 30,000 connections, and then they have tons of followers as well. Okay, so your network is your network. But I mentioned this earlier, start building up your network before you need it. Don't wait till you're looking for a new job or launching a product. So many of us, as I said before, we wait till there's something that we need and then we start connecting. Start nurturing this relationship. Maybe you think maybe in 1 year's time, I want to work for this startup. So I'm going to start now nurturing that relationship now. So when I apply to the startup, then I already have built a relationship. So be strategic with that. Okay, and then the finally pillar 4 is start and engage in conversation. If you are posting, then don't post and ghost. That means don't just post something, someone comments and you ignore the comments. It's like someone saying thank you and you just at a networking event and you just walk away from them. Then again, leave relevant questions or ask. So again, it's all the engagement is in the conversations. LinkedIn has now changed the platform. It's encouraging people to create content. It's encouraging people to engage with each other. It's encouraging people to build their network in a very strategic but relevant fashion. And then the other ways you can connect with people, you get those notifications saying someone's birthday is coming up or someone's anniversary, just like I think with Facebook. But this is such a great way to just send someone a message, like, say, hey, and don't just say happy birthday. You could say something, hey, I saw his birthday and I checked your profile and I see that you just, worked on this project or you just posted about this. So you could add something special. Again, you don't have to do a lot of it. You can just commit to a certain amount of time every day. But, it's about nurturing those relationships and make people feel good. And sometimes you think, oh, this person's an influencer. This one is, they're so high up in the company. But people like these, these little messages. And people don't want to get messages all the time saying, buy my product, hire me, fund my project. They want to also just get these human, I would say kind of human conversations where just telling someone, I'm thinking about you, I'm wishing you. Okay, what is Carol? So LinkedIn could be considered like an alternative to having a personal blog. Yes, absolutely, Carol. You can do a lot of things on LinkedIn. It's really encouraging everyone to put themselves out there, share their content. You don't have to be this big writer. I see people sharing very simple stuff, but they're sharing, authentically what they want to share with the world. Sometimes people share their stories, like how they gotten, like, who is it recently? I know somebody shared a story where they went from being a teacher, from being a teacher to getting into software, and they shared their story about, this career pivot. So it was their own words. When they got a lot of likes. I got my US citizenship too last year. I shared a photograph with the US flag and my certificate. That post got like, I think 300 or 400 comments and likes, and that was my most popular post. And people I hadn't been in touch with for years reconnected with me and congratulated me. And I shared a story about it, like how I've been in the US 20 years, but I was just sitting on, like, I didn't bother to get my, citizenship. And then finally, when the pandemic happened, I decided to do it. So it was a story. I didn't just say, oh, look, so people could, they could connect and they felt inspired by my story. And then, so when you make new LinkedIn connections, you send them a brief message. You start by introducing yourself, then elaborate on why you wanted to connect in the first place, mention things you have in common, feel free to ask them about their goals and interests. Okay, so this is a bonus tip. I know we're running out of time, so I'm going to very quickly go through this. You can, you just like I have my QR code on my slide, you can create your LinkedIn QR code. You can use a QR code when you're at an in-person event. So you go to the LinkedIn app, you need to download the LinkedIn app on your phone. Then you go to the search bar, you'll see this little QR code icon. So you click on, when you click the search, it'll show up. Then you click that my code and your QR code will show up. And then you can save it to photos, or you can email it to yourself, or you can, so you can see it over here. It has my photograph, and it has a little bit, I need to change that, my headline. Or I could, if I'm at an event, I could click scan and people could scan it. And then you can choose to share your QR code with a photo, which is basically your LinkedIn profile photo, and the first few words of your headline, or just the code via message or third-party apps. And so this is what it looks like when I emailed it to myself, right? This was a code only, and this was a code and the photograph. And then you can use it on your website, on presentations, on your resume, business cards, email signatures, and your Zoom virtual background, and your Zoom profile image. So it's really powerful. And you can, as I said, you can use it at LinkedIn events. Instead of just looking it up, you just, hold your phone in front of someone else's QR code, scan it, and that's it. So see, I added mine to my virtual background. I have it as my profile image. If I turn off my photograph, that's what you will see. So when I'm at a virtual event and I have my camera off, people will see this at once, and then if they scan it, they can connect with me. So that, because we're almost at time, and I'd be happy to take a few questions. So there's so much to LinkedIn, but hopefully today I inspired you to do a little bit, to clean up your profiles, to get a new URL, to check out people who could be possible connectors or help you get those opportunities that you want. Connect with me on LinkedIn. Please follow my hashtag, because I share a lot of tips on LinkedIn and how to use it, how to overcome your fear of showing up online. So all you need to do is, go to the search bar and type in Nyna on LinkedIn, and then it'll show up all my content that I've done. And then on one of those posts, you can just click on the hashtag, and it'll take you to that, and you can follow it. And you can follow other people's hashtags. The beauty of following someone's hashtag, or following a hashtag that is relevant to your industry, is when there's content posted about that, you get notified on LinkedIn. And then I have a LinkedIn Facebook group where I also do Facebook Lives with different tips, and it's called Let's Do LinkedIn. So you can take a screenshot of this or a photograph if you want to remember all this. And then finally, there are ways to work with me. I do one-on-one LinkedIn coaching and consulting sessions. I am kicking off a LinkedIn for Success virtual summer bootcamp, where I will be going through each of the 4 pillars I shared today. I'll be looking at people's profiles, helping them get better at it, and sharing a lot of things that I didn't share today, but in a more consistent fashion. It'll be over 4 weeks. This is the first time I'm doing it. So people who join will be joining as founding members, and then they also have access to it when I do it again next year. And whether you want to join, if you want to learn more about these, you can book a complimentary call with me, or if you just want to talk about LinkedIn, you can. This is my bonus. I'm offering everyone a 20-minute complimentary LinkedIn profile review of LinkedIn content strategy call with me. I know a lot of you had questions about LinkedIn, and I might not be able to get to all of them. If you want me to just look at your profile, and stuck about, on one thing, I'd be happy to chat. I love talking to people. I love help, and I really want to help more women show up on LinkedIn, because I know there is this fear, or this overwhelm, or this thing like, I'm not good enough. What will people say about me? It's imposter syndrome, right? We're so concerned about being judged and appearing stupid, or maybe I'll post and no one will like it. It doesn't matter. You just have to put yourself out there. Every one of you has a unique skill, an area of expertise. All of you are here today because you want to improve LinkedIn, and I'll be happy to chat with you and do that 20-minute call. Or if you're interested in finding out more about my coaching or my summer boot camp, I'd be happy to share more in that call. And so that is it. So thank you so much, Carol. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm so glad you found this. So I'm happy to stay on for maybe a few more minutes. If people have questions, it'll be easier instead of me reading it. Maybe, thank you all. And if you enjoyed it, send me a message, connect with me again. I'll send me a DM, let me know on a message how much you enjoyed it. That will be the first thing you will do with creating content, sending me a personal message and tell me what you enjoyed. Or if you want to do a 20-minute call with me, or if there's a hurdle that you're facing right now with LinkedIn that you want me to look at. So I'm good. I know a lot of you had questions. So does anyone want to unmute themselves and ask the question or type it in the chat box? I don't know if Anju, we are at 7 p.m. So what would you like to do?
You can take another 5 minutes if you want.
Sure, okay.
And if people are ready to wait to ask questions.
Okay. So I'll stay on 5 minutes more if anyone has any questions for me, because I know there were lots of questions up there earlier, but I'm not sure if the people have left or not. So you can type it in the chat box or you can unmute yourself. So Valeria says, how to make my LinkedIn profile show better my research experience? Should I link to my website, to my paper? Okay, Jen says, bye, Jen. I hope we can connect online. Should I link to my website, to my paper? So I would say so Valeria, you can add your research experience definitely in your LinkedIn profile experience section. You can, if you have it on your website, you definitely want to have your website on your LinkedIn profile for sure. And then you can do content. You could do a little post about, the different things you've researched, and you can create a post with a link to those papers. You want to showcase that expertise. So there's different ways. You can put a link to your website. You can write, you can do short posts on LinkedIn with links to the papers. You can take screenshots and share it. There's a featured section where you can add it there. You can put it in the experience section. So there are and if that's what is your goal, Valeria, with sharing the research experience? Are you looking for a job? What is your goal? Let me know in the comments. And if anyone else has any questions, let me know. We have a few minutes more. Can you please share the recording? Yeah, I think Anju will share the recording with you.
Yeah, we will be uploading it to YouTube and I will share it via email.
Okay, so Valeria, I'm looking for more research collaborations and a job in academia. So